Hey, Matt back from Loot Signal, and today I want to talk about a PC game that I picked up when I was young, played a lot of time with it, and that game is Aliens versus Predator, released in 1999 by Fox Interactive. And this was a cool game, so I wanted to come on, talk about this a little bit, talk about some of my memories, some of my experiences with the game, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. So let's get into it. And let me start out just by showing you inside the box, inside the sleeve here. And what I really liked about this game was how ambitious it was. So this was a game where you could actually play as either the Marine, the Predator, or the Alien. So it had three different campaigns. And let me tell you, all the campaigns were pretty awesome. And I'll go through and talk about what some of the differences were between those campaigns. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about, what led me to this game in the first place. And I remember as a kid going into Blockbuster Video to rent a movie with my cousin, with my uncle, and my cousin pulled a game off the shelf, or sorry, a movie off the shelf, and it was Predator 2. And at this time, I knew nothing about Predator. Had never even seen it. He pulls off Predator 2. He's shocked that I don't know anything about Predator. So we rent it, and that was my first introduction into really either Predator or Alien. And I know Predator 2, people don't love that much, but at the time, I thought it was awesome. And eventually, I would go back, get the first Predator, and farther down the line, get into Alien as well. So from the movies, I came to know about both Alien and Predator. And then I remember one day walking into a game store and seeing this on the shelf. So instantly, my eyes lit up. I took a look at the box, and from the box itself, like this game looked amazing. So I was sold. I had to pick it up. And actually, this wasn't the copy that I picked up. The copy that I did pick up is right here, which was actually the Aliens vs. Predator Gold Edition. So I was late to the party on this one, and I ended up getting the Gold Edition, which included the expansion pack. But I wasn't mad about that because the Gold Edition was awesome. And then later on down the line, I went and picked up the original copy. So this is the one that I had first picked up. But I want to talk about now why I thought this game was so awesome. And what it was for me was the fact that I guess it was how ambitious this game was because they allowed you to play either as a Marine, the Predator, or an Alien. And you had three completely different campaigns with three completely different playstyles. So, in some sense, it almost felt like three games in one because of how different the playstyles were. So, let me walk you through again Aliens vs. Predator and talk about how these playstyles were different. So, starting with the Marine, what was cool about the Marine campaign was really the atmosphere, the darkness, having to use your flashlight, throw flares to see. But the mechanics for the Marine weren't that unique because, of course, we'd played as, Marine type characters in a lot of PC games before. But the weapons were cool. There was plasma guns, there was flamethrowers. But what I think really made it cool was the fact that you're fighting aliens, for example, the darkness in the environments, and the sounds were also awesome. So the sound in this game was a big deal. They had a lot of realistic sounds of weapons, of the characters from the original movies. So that was a big selling factor. So while the Marine wasn't that unique, it definitely held up. It was good. It wasn't great, but I will say it was good. Now, moving on to the Predator, this is where my jaw was dropping because the Predator in this game was the coolest thing I'd ever saw because you had all the classic Predator abilities. So let me open the box here and show you. So you had, for example, all the different Predator visions. So you had the heat vision that would help you see humans. You had another vision that would help you see the aliens. You also had the ability to go camouflage or cloak, just like the movie. So you had all those awesome abilities that we came to know and love from the Predator movie. But then on top of that, you also had all the awesome Predator weapons. So you had, for example, the shoulder cannon. You had the disc that the Predator throws in Predator 2. You had the claw, for example. So all the awesome Predator abilities. And I think that's what really made me love this game was like just how much love the developers put into this to make it as close to the movie as possible, to really bring the Predator to life. And that's no easy feat. Like, I had never seen anything in a game like that prior to this, where you have all these different visions and so many awesome abilities. And they really did them justice too. Like, they did a great job with the development. So, the Predator was my favorite. And if you haven't played this game, I'd recommend just to play it to try out the Predator because it's still awesome to this day. Now, the last one, of course, is the Alien. And the Alien was also fun. The Alien also felt like an alien. And I think what was unique about playing as the alien in this game was that you could climb up walls, you could climb up onto the ceiling. So, again, you really had those alien abilities. But besides that, of course, as an alien, you don't really have any weapons. It felt different. You didn't have kind of the traditional HUD like you did with the Marine or the Predator. But again, while you're playing as an alien, you felt like an alien. So, what more could you ask for? So, again, you had all three of these awesome campaigns with their own unique play styles, and the sound was awesome. Now, besides the three campaigns, I do want to talk a little bit more about the atmosphere in this game because I think the atmosphere is another thing that really sold it. Because when you're playing, example, as a Marine, you feel tense. You feel tense going through the dark environment. You don't know if an alien's gonna pop around the corner, split you in half. And I think the atmosphere is another area where they really delivered on this game. So the sound, the atmosphere, the gameplay, all good. Overall, I'm not gonna say that, Alien vs. Predator was a perfect game or a 10 out of 10. I don't think it was. I would say it's a good game and maybe and definitely a game you should at least try. But it wasn't a great game. It wasn't a perfect game, but there was some level of novelty there being able to play as the alien and Predator. So at the time, just imagine as a kid having seen the movies and then getting to play this 3D Alien vs. Predator game and actually live out, the Predator and the alien and the Marine. So it was awesome. Now, besides the single player campaigns, there was a multiplayer, but surprisingly, I never played it. And I can't even say that why that was, but I just never played the multiplayer on this. So maybe drop a comment below if you played multiplayer on Aliens vs Predator. Let me know how it was, because I truly have no idea, but the single player was enough for me. The other mode that I did play, I believe it was called Skirmish mode. And I thought this was awesome. This is something I would do because it was pretty quick. But basically, you could select your character, the alien, the Marine, the Predator, and just drop into a level. And it almost felt like survival to me. Just see how long you could survive, how many enemies you could kill. You could pick your loadout at the beginning, so your weapon, you could pick the level. And it was just like quick fun, like a quick game, but really awesome. Really enjoyed the skirmish mode. So that's it. I just wanted to come on today, take us back a bit to the end of the 90s, early 2000s, and talk about Aliens versus Predator, because at the time this was a really unique game and they really lived up to the movies, to the gameplay style of the Marine, the Alien, and the Predator. And if nothing else, I think a game people should play just to get a taste of what it's like to switch your vision as the Predator and see all those aliens and humans, with those unique visions highlighted. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, drop a comment below, let me know your thoughts, and subscribe if you want to see more. So that's it. Hope everyone enjoyed that and have a good day.